was in the store today and I was looking at some of the games in the PS5 case. I was seeing if they had any PS5s, which I knew they weren't going to, but then I was kind of wanting to see what kind of games they had out and what kind of what they were running and that kind of thing. So I was surprised when I saw that the most expensive game in the case was like $50. Like just a week before, they had been 69, whatever. Walmart. I was in Walmart, so they priced them a little bit differently, 69.96 or something like that, not 99. But you all know what I'm saying. They were $70. So now I go in a week later, and everything has dropped 15 to 20 bucks on these game prices. And I haven't really looked into it, but I did kind of talk about it a little bit on Twitter. And a lot of people were giving me feedback kind of on what might be going on with that price, the price drop in the games. And it's kind of like what we talked about before with the availability issue of PlayStation, right? And I did do like a little look-see on Google on what might be happening with that after I put that on Twitter. And it appears that those prices are dropping in different areas and different regions because the systems just aren't readily available and those units aren't moving. So people are trying to move the units by dropping the price and enticing people who actually do own the consoles, which are few and far between for as everybody that wants them, to entice those people to buy those titles because they're dropping them in price. It's very interesting. And I said a month ago, it was probably a little under a month ago, maybe just a few weeks ago, we were talking about it here on the channel, and we also talked about it on the live stream on my Twitch channel, that the availability of the system is going to start affecting prices, which is going to start affecting development for these big studios who want to make money on their software. They need to make money on software. They need to make money on sales to fund the further development of games in the future. And some people were naysaying when I said that, and then some people were like agreeing with me. Whether you agree or disagree, it doesn't change the fact that the availability of the system and everybody that wants to get one, I would say for everybody who wants to get one, 3 out of 5 people have it, right? I think 60% of the people that want one probably have it. I'd say probably 40% of the people still want one, can't get one. And that's pretty crazy, right? Because I remember when PS4 came out, when it first launched, there was a little bit of an availability issue, but it was like a couple weeks after it came out, you could buy one anywhere. I remember that for a fact because I live in an area where there's, you know, we're probably the last place to get one. We're not like a big area, big city or anything like that. And 2 weeks after the PS4 came out, boom, they were everywhere. In the stores around my town and all that kind of stuff. So this is an issue. This is an issue for Sony, and I know part of it is them not being able to get all the parts they need and stuff and trying to manufacture all the parts that the PS5 needs to run properly. Also, there's still a scalper thing. There's still a thing happening with scalpers. I've had a couple of scalpers message me and say, hey, saw your Twitch stream. I've got a PS5 available for $750. And I'm like, block. But I mean, it's happening. You know, a lot of these scalpers, people are not going to buy a $1,000 PS5, and those that are stupid, right? You heard it here first. You know, if you're paying $1,000 for a PS5, you're stupid. That's just all it comes down to. You can say, well, I want it badly. I had the money. Look, just wait. That's 500. Well, let's say after tax and stuff, that's an extra $400 that could have went to anything else you wanted. You're paying $1,000 for a PS5. You're stupid. That's just my take. That's how I feel about it. That's a waste of money, and you shouldn't, because you shouldn't have to do it. You shouldn't have to. So we're starting to see some trickle down effect from the lack of availability, and a big part of it is because you've got scalpers. You know, the average scalper probably has 10 to 15 sitting in their garage because they're not selling, because people aren't buying them. So now these people, you see memes from people on Twitter all the time. Like, yeah, I told this person to meet me there, and they were like, where are you at? And I was like, you're out of your mind if you think I'm buying a scalped PS5. So these people are clowning these people now. So I'm not for that. Sometimes you get in a dangerous situation with that. I'm not for doing that for people. I do find it a little bit funny though, because, you know, It's just wrong. They should be available. They should be out there. You should be able to get one if you want to get it. And the fact that you can't, the fact that people are profiting off of other people's loss right now, because that's what it is. That's what scalping is. You're profiting off other people's loss. I don't care how you spin it. That's the truth. That's what it is. You know, you're keeping something from someone, charging more than what the company that produced that item says it's worth. Full stop. Full stop. And now retailers and stuff are having to drop the price of games, which is going to hurt, not significantly, but it does take away from the bottom line of these companies that need to move the software to develop these games, the artists and the creators and everybody who set the price of their game, whether they set it for $29.99 or they set it for $69.99, which I think $69.99 is a bit too much, but it is what it is. I see why the price is what it is. You're having to drop that, $15, $20, if you had a $29.99 game and now it's $19.99 or even $24.99, if you're a smaller company, you have a smaller price point on your game. Dropping it at all, I mean, to sell it for a cheaper price is usually because you're a smaller company trying to get your game into the hands of other people. And when you have to drop that price, you take a steep hit. Companies that, smaller companies that have a $30 video game and drop it down to $25 take a harder hit than big AAA companies that have a $70 game and drop it down to like $55, right? Because they can absorb that loss. Smaller companies will fold because they're already selling at a bare minimum. They can't really absorb that loss. So, think about that. Think about that. Next time people are talking about PS5s not being available, it's affecting the prices. It's affecting how people do business, and it's going to affect the smaller companies, the smaller game developers the hardest. Mark my words, it will, because that's how business works, And plus, it was a really horrible time for Xbox and Sony to launch a new system. They didn't know the pandemic was going to happen, but it happened, and it was just a really horrible time to launch a $500 new system when people were out of work and stuff. So now, a year later, literally a year later this day, because it was March 15th when I was told that where I worked at was closing down indefinitely because of the pandemic. So we are a year to the day that it happened. And so a year later, we're still feeling the effects economically of just in the gaming industry. So, but it all comes down to people hoarding these PS5s, hoping somebody gives them an extra $100 over what it's valued at. And now these companies are like, well, everybody that wants to play these games can't play them because they don't have a system. Like me, I've had an opportunity to buy a scalped PS5. People have been bringing me that opportunity. I've been saying no because I don't think it's right. Sony marked what that system is worth. They have made plenty for 80 to 90% of the people that want one to have one, right? And 60 to 70% of that number is what we have, right? There are still 30 to 40% of people that want one don't have one. And it should be maybe about 10%, right? But anyway, I feel like that's a result. So let me know what you all think in the comments below. Let's talk about it. If you disagree, if you agree, I don't care. That's my opinion. I mean, sometimes I'm open to discussion. I'm always open to discussion, but this is my hardcore opinion on Scalpers. You all know what it is. You all know how I feel about it. And these smaller game developers are going to hurt because these prices are starting to drop. Just like I said a month ago, this was going to happen. And everybody's like, oh, no, man, you're overreacting. Oh, man, you're just crazy theory and it's not happening. It's happening. It is happening, at least on a regional level. I've seen it. People on Twitter have seen it. People in Europe are telling me that their games are upwards of $100 anyway, which is ridiculous. There needs to be a cap on that. But anyway, let me know what you all think. You all have a great night. Keep rocking. Be safe out there. And I will catch you all in the next video.